So I think kind of for me, transitioning from a virtual thon to in person is more like also transferring a whole committee. And I think that what I'm most excited about is kind of just to like be back in person with everyone and be able to see our families. Like obviously they're always at the forefront, but being able to see our families really shine at like kids fashion show, kids talent show, and like just a bunch of other things like that, I think is really going to be an amazing experience and kind of again remind the thon community of like why we do what we do. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest changes going from a virtual thon to a in-person one again.
I will say, I did like love every single minute of virtual thon last year. As like a family relations captain, I still got to spend like a lot of time on Zoom with families. So I wouldn't change that for anything. And it was a really cool opportunity to reach more families and a lot more active treatment families. So I think that the virtual year like propelled THON as an organization forward in terms of like how we interact with families. So I definitely am very proud of that work. That being said, I also obviously am super, super excited to be back to in-person events and looking forward to an in-person thon.
Virtual was very different last year. Like obviously there were any events or anything that we needed to set up. So it was a lot different coming into this year. But one thing that I have noticed that changed is just how excited everyone is. Like they are so eager to do things throughout the year because they're like, this is our first year back. Like it's been so long that any of us have seen each other basically. So I've just seen our enthusiasm really increase.
Being back in the BJC, there's like a different aura about it, and there's something more to look forward to this weekend. And for supply logistics specifically, there's a lot more for us to do because without there being in-person events last year, there was a lot less supplies that were needed. So for us, it kind of gives us more of what our job is actually about. And so I've been thankful for all my co-captains these past few weeks for helping me out and supporting each other, getting all the stuff that we need for this weekend.
We have seen everything that is getting planned in the BJC, but then we also have a full timeline of events for families that are virtual and for other people that are virtual. And I think this is a great opportunity to be inclusive to everybody, to not just people that can come to the BJC, but people that are maybe not in Pennsylvania, not in the area, are unable to be in contact with that many people in person.
This year, every year, THON, we've really just been trying to prioritize safety. It's something that's constantly evolving as the world changes, but it's always our utmost priority.
Even last year when we shifted to virtual, how we each still had a purpose, we each still had a role, even when we didn't really know what was happening. So that was something really incredible to experience and be a part of. And then this year, we just focused more as a committee going over in person, like protocol, talking about what an in-person thon would look like rather than a virtual thon.
This year is going to be kind of being able to make those in-person connections, kind of like that human-to-human bonding. Again, I'm really excited to see that. I'm really excited to see our families that can come, being able to kind of have them in the BJC, and having those is still in the hospital and having them virtually is going to be absolutely amazing to kind of have those multiple ways of connecting with our families, because they're like at the heart of everything we do.
For me, my responsibilities have changed from being just an R&R CM with like not too many responsibilities with THON to now like having a lot of responsibilities with THON. That's at least personally for me.
It's been really interesting to see how having your own committee has kind of transitioned between 2020 and 2021 and now again, because my captains in 2019 and 2020 left such a big impact on me. That was really why I wanted to become a captain. I wanted to be that person for someone else as well.
A project that Maddie and I have been working really hard on, which is a nutrition guide for dancers. In THON 2020, it was kind of just like a brochure, almost like kind of just a flyer handout for dancers to help them prep nutritionally for THON weekend. Just things they should be keeping in mind in terms of like healthy food and things like that. And last year, our predecessors, they had it kind of like they had a bunch of recipes in it, a survival guide almost for cooking while they were dancing in their apartments or at home or an Airbnb or something like that. wherever they may be. So we got to transition it back into an in-person nutrition guide, and we got to add a lot of cool stuff to it, like grocery lists, things for on-campus dancers at the dining halls and the markets that are available for them. We were able to give them more information.
Last year, it's surprising how much of the THON magic was still able to be conveyed over the live stream, but to just feel it in person, I think, is something else. So I'm really excited to be home in the BJC this year. That's going to be really exciting, especially after like having that experience sophomore year, and to just be able to have that experience again is something I'm really looking forward to.
For the most part, I guess, as a merchandise committee as itself, being able to get back to in-person sales, in-person just interaction with everyone, and being able to interact directly with customers from a personal standpoint has definitely been a major change this year, I guess, from last year.
In terms of planning this year, I'm very lucky that, you know, my role is kind of a role that can be done virtually or in person regardless. It requires me to work. I still coordinate with people in meetings and stuff, but a lot of it is me doing design work on my own time. So it has been nice that I can kind of fit that into my own busy schedule this year, and I can kind of work around when I need to get, you know, what my responsibilities done on time.
This year we really wanted to put a push towards some of our smaller donors, as well as continue to push our big donors and thank them. By doing so, we've been writing handwritten cards to most of our donors, which has been great, and I think it provides a little bit more of a engagement aspect for both the donor and alumni relations committee members that come and write some cards, as well as, you know, alumni or friends and family, whether that be relatives, grandparents. Getting a handwritten card in 2022 seems kind of rare, and so we wanted to provide something special as a THON community to bring back and give back to our supporters.